Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome to my channel. This series is entitled How I Landed, where I get to talk to you guys and tell you the story of how I landed the different roles in which I've played. And I thought, where are we gonna go from this one? This one, I'm gonna start with the story of the first Purge, okay? And this is essentially a really powerful story. It's probably the biggest one yet for any role that I've done, and I can't wait for you guys to hear about it. So make sure you drop me a like, make sure you guys drop a comment, share this video, and last but not least, make sure you guys subscribe and turn those post notifications on so that you guys get alerted when I make a new video. All right, let's get into this one. First of all, welcome to my channel. My name is Joivan. Activate Sonic Can. Yo guys, so how I landed the first Purge. So how this journey started for me was essentially receiving an audition for it. At the time, it was actually called Island Experiment. So an email popped up saying Island Experiment. I had no idea it was the Purge franchise or that movie. And the audition came in. I ended up doing the audition, and this was maybe around April time. And so I do the audition, and it was a self-tape at the time. I'm back in London with my family. I submit the tape to my team in the UK, and then I didn't really hear anything for maybe about 3 months. And this is the longest that I probably waited to hear back on something, to the point where I forgot it even existed. I think I had assumed that it had been casted and that was it. And so I ended up getting a call like literally 3 months later saying, from my manager at the time in the US, Atlas, saying, okay, look, they are interested in seeing you for the first Purge. And I just coincidentally happened to be coming to LA in a couple of weeks, and they were talking about getting me back over or flying me back over to do this audition. I had happened to be coming over regardless in September just to come back to LA from London. And so when I got here, I had the audition. And so I went into the room, and this audition actually was with my brother at the time. My younger brother Jay was in LA, and my boy Charles was also in LA. And I went to the audition, my brother came with me, and for some reason, before I went into the room, sometimes as an actor, you just know, right? You just know that you've got the role, or if you feel a bit shaky about it. But I just felt before I even went in that I got a really good feeling about this. My brother waited outside, I went in. And so for American auditions, if I'm playing an American character, I always, and I mean always, will stay in character, stay in that American accent, right? And so that's just what I did. I went into the room, I sat down in Blumhouse's casting office, and I just sat there, looked around me, saw all these other actors there which were going for it, and I felt like, okay, cool, I've got a real shot at this. I then get into the room, and when I get into the room, again, I'm an American. I go in, I do a few takes, and at the end of it, I basically say, thank you so much. So, I'm talking like the character is from New York, so I got a New York accent on. And at the end of that audition, I'm like, thank you very much, it was a pleasure. And I bring my UK accent back, and they're like, oh, you're British. And I'm like, yep, I'm British. I walk out, that's always one. I give a little wink. I get out of the room, I say to my brother, I feel like I've got this role. Now, fast forward, I end up basically getting back home, and a few days later, the casting reaches out and they say that they want to do a Skype call with Gerard McMurray, who was the director of the film. And so I'm like, okay, cool, round two. And they said to me, they want to make sure that you can do the American accent, etc., etc. Bear in mind, this is the first role that I'd done with an American accent. So I get on Skype. When I get on Skype, I'm talking with Gerard. He comes on with the bowl of cereal, and I'm like, okay, cool. This is a lot more relaxed than I thought it was gonna be. And as soon as I get on the Skype call, he said, what's up, Joivan? How you doing, man? I really liked your tape. I just want to let you know that you're gonna be the lead in my new movie. And I'm thinking, huh? What? This is an audition. I'm thinking that I've got, I'm putting on my accent. I'm ready to get in. And I literally get told that I've got the role from the director before my reps even know. Get off the phone, I'm buzzing, take my phone out. Yo, guys, I just got off the phone with the director. The Skype call went great, and he just said that I've got the role. And so everyone is like, okay, cool, we'll wait till we hear it from the producer. I'm like, guys, he just told me he's the director. So then we wait a few hours, and then my manager rings it back, and Nick's like, you got the role? I was like, yeah, I know, he said. So we end up getting really excited. Everyone is over the moon, and at this point, the tragedy sets in. The The reason the tragedy sets in is because I don't have a US working visa to be able to work in the US, to be able to do this role. And I've literally got about, I think it was maybe around 48 hours to be able to get my paperwork across. At this point, like, I don't have anything, I have nothing. And so I'm like, okay, cool, how is this gonna work? I get told that by the end of the day, we need to get as many letters of recommendation as possible. For those of you who don't know about the visa process, you basically have to get industry professionals to say that they value you, they warrant you, and that you are, you know, someone in which has professionalism within the industry and that you are the top of your craft. And so how on earth am I gonna get all of these letters within the space of, you know, maybe 6 hours? Bear in mind that I've got this call at 10 a.m. in the morning and it's 6 p.m. London time, and it was a miracle. I hit up everyone, you know, from David Walliams to Matt Lucas to Lenny Henry to the execs on Doctor Who, BBC, everyone, and all of my, you know, preliminary actor friends in which are in the industry. And I managed to get back about 5 letters, right? So we submit all the paperwork and I get told, okay, cool, look, we submit the paperwork, it has to come back within a certain amount of time. I think it was like maybe a week and a half at that time. And you know, these things take a little while to come back, so it has to be expedited. Funnily enough, I get to the point where everything gets submitted. I'm now in the waiting stage, and about a week later, I get an email and I get a call saying that it's a request for more evidence. So I'm like, what do you mean a request for more evidence? Meaning that they want more evidence to say that I am an actor of extraordinary ability and that I can be vouched in my field. So by that point, I had reached out to maybe like 15 people, 20 people to get these letters in. The problem was that we only had like 2 days, 3 days before production starts. Luckily, you know, God was on my side, and my manager at the time, he basically reached out to someone in Congress, and please don't ask me, I have no idea, but somehow we were able to get the paperwork submitted and get basically get backed up by Adam Schiff's office in Congress to say, you know, put through this visa, this guy is extraordinary ability, etc. But by the point in which that happened, this was like maybe 24 hours before that deadline hit. So I get a call from the producer, from Steve, saying, hey Joivan, how you doing? It's crazy, man. If we don't get this back in time, then we're not gonna be able to get you on the cast. We're gonna have to recast this. I'm like, we're not gonna recast this. In Jesus' name, I'm doing this role. So something just happened. I woke up that morning, my little brother was going back to London at that time, and I ended up just packing my suitcase. I'm packing my suitcase, and my brother comes into my room in the morning, and so did my friend Charles, and they're like, yo, did you get the role? And I'm like, well, I'm waiting to hear about it, but you know, I got it in Jesus' name. And so they're like, well, why are you packing? I'm like, because I'm manifesting, bro. I'm packing because I'm leaving today. The reason I'm leaving today is because they're gonna come back and they're gonna say that I got the role. At this time, you might think I'm mad, but I'm heavy faith driven, and so that's just what I did. Put my suitcase in the car, get in the car, driving my brother to the airport, got my boy Charles in the car, and then essentially I get to IHOP, everyone's hungry, yo man, let's stop off, let's get some food. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's stop off, let's get some food. We get some food. While I'm sitting, eating food, I get a call from the producer, from Steve, and he says, hey Joivan, and bear in mind at this time, I think that he's gonna ring me to say, look, we're at the deadline, it's Tuesday, we had to know by 4 p.m. and it's Tuesday and it's 3:37. And I get this call and he says, hey Joivan, just wanna let you know that it's quite a miracle, but we managed to get somebody in Congress to, you know, back you, and they're gonna put it through the system. And so we gotta get you on the next flight to Canada so that you could go to the embassy and we can get your paperwork, you know, figured out. So I'm like, okay. He says, but we got to get you on a flight in just a few hours. Boom, a few hours. Steve, I'm good. The reason why I'm good is because I acted in faith. I had my suitcase in the car and I was ready to go. So I'm already on the way to the airport, Steve. And so what happened was I get to the airport. At this time, my brother's going back to London. I'm getting on a flight to Canada. My boy then takes the car back and he's got a few more days in LA. I get over to Canada. I do my meeting with Congress, with the embassy, get my paperwork stamped. And then that same day, I'm driving from Canada down to New York, Buffalo to shoot the first Purge. And essentially, I'm on set with my castmates and with Gerard McMurray, who had the faith to believe in me and was the person that, you know, put his leg and arm out and said, look, I really want to wait for this cat. I really want him in the production. And there I was playing Isaiah in the first Purge. So guys, that is essentially how I landed Isaiah in the first Purge. If you guys like that story, be sure to drop a like, make sure you drop a comment, let me know what you thought, and weekly videos, industry knowledge, entertainment, my lifestyle, and industry tips. Make sure you subscribe. I'll have a new video every single week. Much love, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.